I am Martin Stanley. I'm the Inclusion Manager and Assistant Head for Inclusion.
My name is Riffat Hussain and I'm the speech and language therapist based here at Tollgate.
Riffat is our speech and language therapist and has bespoke sessions of speech and language, and she has a particular intervention room where the sessions take place. Unfortunately, not all educators can attend these sessions, so the use of the evidence for learning is very, very crucial because the sessions are looked at through the lens of Riffat being the clinician, and that could be lost during the day, the busyness of the day. So what we do with the evidence is Riffat would bring the evidence to our discussions within the resource provision, as well as for mainstream colleagues to clearly see what children can do and what difficulties they're having. That helps us in our planning sessions to plan provision, focusing on language, communication, turn-taking for our children.
Yeah, and it allows us to really hone in and deliver interventions that are client-centered or child-centered, that benefits the child and makes their journey here at Tollgate meaningful for their families, for all the stakeholders involved. We're able to modify the interventions. So for example, if something's not working or something's not going quite right or the child's not progressing, we're able to modify that and just alter it so that it's meaningful for the child.
In the climate that we are in today, lots of our parents are very anxious about speech and language therapy. And for some of them, they feel that they want more of speech and language therapy. What evidence for learning has helped us with is to actually look at the evidence and show parents what is meaningful speech and language therapy and how can we transfer some of the strategies that we do at school, how can they be transferred at home.
Exactly.
Riffat has actually done home visits, and maybe you want to...
I have, yeah. So we want the interventions that we do here to generalize at home, and what Evidence for Learning has allowed me to do is for me to track the progress, work with parents. They're able to evidence their progression at home, and I am able to do the same here, and we're able to just work collaboratively alongside Martin, alongside the teachers, and I just think it puts parents at ease because they can see what we're doing here as the day progresses, how their child's doing. So yeah, it puts them at ease in terms of a speech and language perspective, because obviously when you're away from your child, you're wondering what's going on with the intervention, and with some of our children, it takes a while to generalize. But what Evidence for Learning is put them at ease, and they're able to say, oh, I really like the way you did so and so. I tried to do my own bucket group at home. Or for example, this is Anisha doing the same type of like stop and start movement, cause and effect movements. And we see that, and it's amazing. Like those small milestones are really big progress for some of these children. It allows me to offer targeted interventions to, for example, teachers. So for example, teachers are able to work with me so we get teachers that come to me and say, I need more resources. This child needs help with colourful semantics. I'm able to train the TA. They're able to evidence that as they work with a child, and we make modifications along the way. In some cases, some children really progress with that. So for example, who, what, doing, they're now progressing to where. Some children will have to take it back, and some children that seem like they're actually functioning well in class, in year 3 and 4, for example, we'll have areas of just not able to access the curriculum, and then we're able to just use Evidence for Learning to just have a look at where the gaps lie.
Here I am. Where is my hero? Where are you? Here I am. Here I am.
My name is Brian Jennings. I am the pre-formal learning support teacher at Tollgate Primary for the resource provision.
I use it in my clinical practice to reflect on the interventions that I am doing. It helps me determine the trajectory of where my interventions are going and what I need to improve on, what the child is what the child will benefit from, what is meaningful to them. It also helps me evaluate with my team members, with Brian, our Senko, Martin, the occupational therapist. So it's a wider MDT working. We evaluate the results of the intervention of the videos that we've recorded for evidence for learning. We present it to the parents as well, so they're able to see
the progress, what they're achieving during the day. But also, as you said, the evidence for learning is a great communication app, not just for the parents, but within the team itself, for everybody to see those sessions that aren't in there for that session, for the other members of staff to see and how to implement those strategies that are learning into not just the niches, but all the children's days and their learning objectives. So.
From then on, we decide on what we're going to do in terms of working together. For example, the OTs are able to take ideas from the session based on the footage that they've seen. They're not with us every week, so this is, every bit of evidence is crucial for them in terms of helping a child like Anisha in terms of her progress, her developmental progress.
I think it's a great tool to help visualize strategies for everybody to use, because having a report about a child and their thing, you have these preconceptions of what to do. But having this portal of evidence and seeing these sessions and how they access learning helps us, helps OTs, helps everybody involved have a better idea of how to assess it, review it, and then go back and just come up with an overall plan for everybody to...
And it helps them alter their communication. For example, like Brian said, if you see a child like Anisha on paper, you might not know what to do. But if you're an OT or a teacher, for example, and you think, okay, this is what the speech and language therapist did. She minimized her language, she got down to the child's level, she was able to use different sensory materials. They might think to bring that into their session and carry that forward. This is Anisha. She's a pre-formal learner. This is a one-to-one specialist session. And you're going to see how a bespoke session using highly motivating items, sensory items, is able to elicit those anticipatory skills. There's early forms of communication in terms of eye gaze. She's able to show us that she wants to engage with us through proximity. Look at the little flourishes of just hand movements, just showing us that she's very much engaged in the situation, enjoying the activity. Normally, Anisha is very quick to move away after about 3 seconds. She lasts 1 minute and 53 seconds in here, which is amazing for her, isn't it?
It's an amazing progress
it's an amazing
for her.
achievement. As you can see, her eyes are going back and forth. She's showing interest.
Whereas before it would just be look and then go and do her own thing. But she's actually just...
You can see a social smile, and she's actually now mimicking the movements of the TA. So the previous video was taken in January, and the second video is now taken in May, so there's 4 months apart. So now you're going to see Anisha in a group setting, enjoying a group activity with her peers. And I just want you to look at her eye gaze and track her eye gaze.
Emphasize which one she is.
She's the third child. Second child, sorry. Second child.
From the left.
From the left. Fine. So if you look, she followed the direction of what I was throwing. And she's going to do it for you again. And this is amazing progress for this child. I was so happy when I saw this and I used it in my report. That's why I thought I'd show you the video. See, she's doing it again. She was not able to do this before. So this shows me that structured intervention, weekly structured intervention, and obviously using evidence for learning to just hone in on like what she's enjoying, what she's not enjoying, is able to help a child progress, because we're able to speak to Brian.
It's again using the persistence of these techniques that we're doing to be able to help her, engage. Here's just an example of the learning journey that you can develop on the Evidence for Learning app, which is a great tool for us to assess their progress. The graphs, there's like changes, so there's some dips to show that she was not engaged in certain areas. So then as a group, it's a collaborative, like with having the tool that we have, that Riffat has, showing her sessions and stuff like that. It helps us then see what motivates Anisha to help build these. And as you see, it changes and there's spikes of her showing really good engagement and progress in all areas of engagement.
So prior to the session that I did, there were dips in her engagement and in her overall engagement in school, and her learning journey at school probably wasn't productive for her. She probably wasn't enjoying her time at school. And after that session, we were able to work collaboratively as a team and design sessions for her that is meaningful to her, that she enjoys, the same exact sequence, and that you can see spikes going upwards. So improvement in communication, active engagement. I think for me, it shows that she's actually enjoying school. When you see a child improving communication, it means that she's enjoying. And I could tell you firsthand that her father told me that she's enjoying coming to school lately. Don't know if it was relayed to you, Martin. He said that there's been a change in Anisha, and I don't know why. She seems to be enjoying. Whereas before in the morning she would cry and she didn't want to come in, probably because we were not meeting her where she's at. We're
not coming to her level and understanding.
So we were able to go into her world instead of her coming to our world, and just change the transactional supports. And like as Brian and Martin said, it's a cross-party team. This is not it's a joint effort working with the OTs. They're able to give us ideas on movements, using a bouncy ball before a session, or just little interjections of things that she might enjoy. And then I might help them work with just communication in terms of like using language, using certain songs. So we're able to really alter the transactional supports that she enjoys, so that she can engage and just enjoy being at school and just be present, so that her learning journey at school is fulfilled.
We use the very videos in our coffee mornings for parents. I ask for permission, and parents give me permission, and I use a snapshot of a video to explain some of the SEN jargon, and just to demystify aspects around SEN.
Also for annual reviews, for example, when we're looking at the targets of annual reviews, it's become an effective tool in the way that we modify those targets, or we say, you know what, this child can actually do this now, and here's evidence for it at school. Some cases, the child does not do that the same targets at home. So we're able to evidence that, and that enables parents to think, okay, you know what, they could do this target, let's actually think of another target, and use speech and language therapy in a different way to benefit them, to benefit the child.
Basically, it provides a rich picture over time. And it is a platform for educational discourse, a tool for collaboration. We are educationalists. We rely on clinicians, and the clinicians rely on us. And what better use of using evidence that is school-based to have a discussion, and so that it mitigates time wasting, that we just zone into what are the strengths, what are the small steps we need to develop, and we work in collaboration with families. As a training school, we use it to help our colleagues within the local authority, because they attend training at our school, and we have shared CPD.
It really allows for effective MDT working, cross collaboration, as Martin said, and it really involves all the stakeholders that are involved in the child's care. And for example, transitions as a child's going to secondary school is a really big tool in helping us support a child as they go through transitions. Martin's able to, and sometimes I am involved as well, to sit in those meetings and talk to adults that are going to be looking after these children that have significant needs, and just say, look, this is what they can do and here's the evidence for it. And this is the area of need that we need to be working on. And yeah, it just makes that transition that much more easier.
That is an excellent point, Riffat, because more often than not, when children transition, if they're transitioning over a summer holiday, we know that children would regress as sense because they've been off school. So the school knows where was the exit point because there's evidence that shows where the child exited and what the child can do. So there's no loss of learning for our children.
I also use it personally as just a way to look at my outcome measures. So for example, when I'm looking at my interventions, it's a way for me to just kind of look at where I need to go. Whether do I carry on with this intervention, give it 6 more weeks? Do I modify it? Do I completely change discourse and change direction? So I think from a speech and language perspective, it's just made my job so much more easier, so much more effective, and I really enjoy using it.